cool cats and kittens. Do you guys remember? Like, I forget about Tiger King so much, and the fact that it sucked us in so hard still makes me laugh, because now I think about it and I just cringe, but it was good and needed at that time. So anyways, today I'm going to talk about, we're going to do the first 2 weeks of Spookopoly, which is hosted by Becca with the Books. And this is a Monopoly based TBR game that Becca does, and you roll, it gives you prompts to read, and what I like about it is it helps you to read books that you might not normally pick up. She's put so much time and effort into this, it's incredible. So I will link everything below so that you can find it, but this will just be the first 2 weeks of Spookopoly. Becca made this really cool board. I printed it off. I used this as my little mover thing, but there's just all these fun little prompts, and she did Taylor Swift theme, which I laughed because I did not get a single Taylor Swift thing when I was rolling. Spoiler alert. For this first video, I'm rolling as I go. And then for the second video, I end up rolling and creating a TBR just because I needed to get to some books this month for some book clubs, and I wanted to see if I could make them fit. So you will see the second video in a couple weeks probably. Every box on the board has a prompt, and then she has a document that tells you like what to do for that. So really cool. I really like that there's these little like community cards and chance cards. Yeah, community cards are prompts, and then your chance cards are books from your shelf that you pull and then you have to read. So it's a good way to get your unread shelf down. So my rules for this was that every book I drew had to be a book I owned. So every book that I read this month, with the exception of one, because it's for a book club, so I needed to get it in it. So all the books I rolled for this month, with the exception of that one, are books that I own, which is really cool for me. I was able to get to some books that I wasn't sure when I would get to them ever, because we're readers. But it's super fun. So enjoy this video. You will see the beginning of this content was just some fun stuff. I went to a fall festival. It's been super rainy here today. And then I also went into the Planned Parenthood book sale. So you see like the outside of it, the Iowa State Fair. It's always hosted there. It's our last one this year, which is really sad. And so I am a partner for them, and it was just really fun to go to my last Planned Parenthood book sale, which is really sad. I can't even like begin to explain how wonderful this book sale has been for my community. It's been going on for 60 years. I don't know if other Planned Parenthoods do this across the country. If you're watching this and know that, let me know, but I know this is a huge fundraiser for our state's sex education program. All money that this sale makes goes to sex education for teens in Iowa and families in Iowa. And so it's just been a lovely thing to support. And yeah, this was the last one, so I'm pretty sad about that. At the end of the video, you will get to probably see me running my first half marathon in 10 years. So that's pretty cool too. So anyways, until the next video, you guys, bye. Okay, so like I said, I kind of have a stack of books I want to pull from for Spookopoly. And so I then decided I would just throw everything on a cart. So my TBR cart, the top two tiers are my TBR, and then the bottom is like Bible study stuff. So my current read, mother-daughter movie night, and then this is one for a different video. But then the rest of these are books I would like to get to this month. It's super sunny and the lighting is weird, but not get to this month because there's no way I could read like 40 books. But if the prompts fit, these are the ones that I'm hoping to get to. Okay, so I don't really have dice that I can find, and I don't want to find them if we do, because my toddler will steal them from me. So I'm doing virtual dice for Spookopoly, and so for the first roll, I got a 10, which is right here, and let's roll. All right, so we rolled a 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and that is a feed scroll. And we will go through Instagram and pop up through the feed a book to read. The only rule I have is it has to be a book that I own. So the first book that pops up that I own will be the one that I choose. All right, so when I scrolled through my post, the first thing I saw was Mother-Daughter Movie Night, which is actually one of the most recent additions to my bookshelves. I got this sent to me from Biblio Lifestyle. I've heard this is kind of blurb to like Finley Donovan, which I haven't read, But a fun, fresh, and twisty whodunit about a grandmother, mother-daughter trio who come together as amateur sleuths to solve a murder in their coastal California town. High-powered businesswoman Lana Rubicon has a lot to be proud of. Her intelligence, taste, and the LA real estate empire she's built when she finds herself trapped 300 miles north of the city in a sleepy coastal town with her adult daughter Beth and teenage granddaughter Jack. Lana is stuck counting otters instead of square footage and hoping that boredom won't kill her before the cancer does. Then Jack stumbles upon a dead body while kayaking near their bungalow and quickly becomes a suspect in a homicide investigation, and the Rubicon women are thrown into chaos. That sounds kind of fun. So that's going to be the first book I read for Spookopoly, and I'm going to roll as I go, so I will touch base with you after I've finished this, and then we'll do our next roll. All right, long time no talk. So I am on page 122 of Mother-Daughter Murder Night, and I'm really, really liking it. I saw a blurb that it was like Finley Donovan, and I haven't read that, but I think Finley Donovan is very quirky and like silly and funny and like kind of a cozy in a sense. This is not cozy. This is about three women who, like mother, daughter, grandmother. The daughter is out kayaking one day and is leading a tour, and they discover a dead body. The daughter becomes a suspect, and the grandmother and the mother are trying to ensure that she's not a suspect. Like, she really wasn't guilty. They're trying to clear her name, and they get kind of pulled into this mystery. It takes place in a slough, S-L-O-U-G-H. Actually, I'm gonna Google that right now because I've been meaning to. Oh, it's pronounced slough. Cool. In California. And they, like, the body's found in the slough, and with the tide and everything, like, the body moved from somewhere, and it's looking like it's actually going to be a mystery, kind of a mystery based on like environmental land concerns. So there's like a big ranch, there's an environmental trust that's trying to keep the slough clean and, like, you know, safe and stuff for people and animals to use, and there's a lot of conservation. I think it's gonna be a mystery with some depth and like with an environmental lens, which I think is really cool. For some reason, there's a part, like, the family lives on the south side of the slough, and a ranch is on the north side of the slough, and they're like, currently they're going to the ranch. They were investigating some stuff and kind of being nosy, and it was giving me Yellowstone vibes. Beth is represented in a character, but in like a more prim and proper sense, and there's like a brother who just is trying to do things right. So I got that visual quite a lot, but I will say I'm really enjoying it. I started it yesterday and I'm almost halfway in. There's quite a lot of words on the page, but I might finish it today or tomorrow. I have two books I think I'm gonna finish today or tomorrow, but for my first book of Spookopoly, I'm really enjoying this one. So yeah, I'll update you guys when I finish it. All right, so I rolled a 4. Ugh. 1, 2, 3, 4, which is Stabby. And Stabby is the bloodier side of spooky season. True crime thrillers and grimdark fantasy would fit very well for this prompt. Okay, so now I have to go find a Stabby book. Be right back. So I rolled a number. She'll go right here. I can't remember, but the prompt was Stabby, and so I keep moving this book from month to month. So 8 Perfect Murders will be my Stabby book. Good morning. I'm going to film really quick. I have the day off, and it's like so needed. I need a serious mental health break. The last time I had a day off, my son ended up being sick, so I had to go pick him up. So I'm really hoping that he stays healthy today, because I feel like every time I have a day off, my child calls in sick, or like is sick. I have to go pick him up from daycare. I have to take my dog to a vet appointment today, but I am reading 8 Perfect Murders, which is for one of my roles for, I think, a Stabby book. And I'm about, let's say about a third in. Really liking it. I think this is my first Peter Swanson. I have one other book by him. I can't remember which one it is. It might be Every Value Break. Or 9 Perfect Strangers. I don't know what that one. I'm making up titles. That's a Leanne Moriarty book. So this is about a bookstore owner who, right at like the beginning of the blog rise, he wrote an article for 8 Perfect Murders because he runs a detective or a mystery bookstore. And there are 8 perfect murders that he thinks were like executed perfectly throughout books. He's contacted by an FBI agent who is saying that there's some murders that are happening that just seem to match some of the murders that he wrote about in this blog. So like there's the Secret History murder, there's the ABC murders, there's one by A.A. Milne. I didn't know A.A. Milne, who wrote the original Winnie the Pooh, wrote one. Like wrote a mystery book, but he did. You're kind of getting, like right now we're just kind of setting up. There haven't been any murders committed since they've connected, but it's implied in the back copy that more murders are going to happen. It's very well written. I don't know. I'm like really, really liking it. I think it does have an unreliable narrator, but you don't really know that necessarily at first. And then Peter Swanson like just drops in these little moments where you're like, oof, I gotta like reread that. Did he just say what I think he said? How does that fit into like the overarching story? So I have a feeling it's gonna get kind of twisty, and it's very multi-layered, but I am really, really liking it so far. So this will be a really fun read. Since I'm off today, I wouldn't mind trying to finish it. I'm going to read all day. I need to do a little bit of cleaning, but I would rather just mental health day for me. I'm also recovering after a really long 10-mile run yesterday, and so I would just love to finish this today. Goose. Hi, buddy. Hello. Kangaroo. Hey, kangaroo. All right, so an update for you guys. I finished 8 Perfect Murders last night and really liked it. Probably like a closer to a 4 than a 3, so 3.75. I just thought that it was twisty and it kept me guessing. The unreliable narrator is done really well in this. Like, I almost feel like this is a commentary on thrillers to a point. So I appreciated that. I just thought Peter Swanson was doing interesting things with this genre and the murder mystery, and I liked the plot and the storyline. I just didn't really care for the main character, which he was unreliable. You weren't supposed to, but there was just something that didn't totally sit well with me that would have made this like a 4 or a 5. And I think it had to do with like the character's development in the story and how some of the plot twists were revealed. Like at the end, you find out kind of how some stuff unravels. And I was disappointed when I found out who the culprit was. I don't know. I was just disappointed by the culprit, but it was an enjoyable read. So I basically read 2/3 of it in one day yesterday on my day off, and I had a great time reading it. So it's about a 3.75, just shy of a 4-star. The reveal at the end kind of fell flat for me because I didn't like who the person was. And the unreliable narrator trope is always kind of hard for me, but all in all, really fun. Glad I read it. And now we will go on to the next roll. Okay, and since I rolled a double with that last roll, I have to roll again. So I rolled a 7. And then Black Cat is the next one that I rolled. Okay, so I rolled a double for that one. And because of that, the rules are you have to roll again for another book. And so I rolled this number. I'm filming this afterwards, so I can't remember these things. And I landed on a book with a cat on the cover, or Black Cat. Landed on Black Cat. Guys, it's Monday. And so for that, I went through Goodreads and found a list that was like books with cats on the cover to see if I had any on my own shelf, because I own a lot of books, and I do. It is A Love Catastrophe by Helena Hunting. And this is a romance author that I have been extremely hit or miss with her. So she wrote a hockey romance that I enjoyed, but then she wrote Meet Cute, which I didn't like because you could tell she hadn't done estate or probate law, and I had, and so it just really bothered me. But this one is about like a cat therapist, babysitter, who has to watch this guy's cat, and it's a romance. So a lot of people give Tessa Bailey a lot of flack for some of her descriptive terms, but may I suggest you read Helena Hunting, and then you will think that Tessa Bailey is very mild. She wrote a book and a beaver is referenced a lot, and it's very distracting, but her just description. So she's very missed for me. But I got an ARC from the publisher for this, so it's perfect. I need to clear it off my shelf anyways to get my NetGalley percentage up, so I'm gonna do that. Are you the sweetest boy? Look at that tail. Hi, baby. Can I get a Ruru? Hey, can I get a Ruru? Can I get a Ruru? No? You're not gonna give me a Ruru? Can I get another one? Good job. All right, I could have sworn I filmed this video and I clearly did not. So I finished The Love Catastrophe by Helena Hunting, and she is just not the author for me. This was probably tamer as far as her descriptive words for sex. I was a little nervous because it's a book about a cat, so I was scared as to what words she would use to describe stuff, if you catch my drift. This was just kind of a cute, cheesy romance. There wasn't a lot of depth to the characters. However, the backstory of the characters, they're both dealing with grief in different ways, one through the loss of a parent and one through a parent with like early onset dementia, and how that kind of brings them together. That was really sweet. She did a really nice job with that. But like the overall romance just didn't really do it for me. And I'm not a huge cat person, I'm sorry. So that wasn't just something I was spectacularly gonna love. I knew that going into it. There is some like dog digs, which like, come on. You'll see Gus in this video a few times, right? Like, I'm a big dog person. So all in all, it was an okay book, but I think I need to just be done with Helena Hunting because all of her books like make me mad. All of her books are just middle of the road or poor for me. So I think I'm done. I think I can say, you know what, she's not the author for me. And you know, I got this version from the publisher, so thank you. And it was a copy I got through NetGalley. I got to clear off my percentage for that. That's good, but I'm done and I'm okay with that. All right, another roll. So I rolled a 10. Okay. So I had Black Cat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Jigsaw. All right, I rolled a 10, which got me to Jigsaw on the board, and that is a book that features like a game, a trial, or a tournament. And I actually had to think really hard because the rule was that it has to be a book I own. And I was looking and I'm like, okay, a trial I could take literally like as like a court trial because I have quite a few books. And I thought about doing Happiness Falls by Angie Kim, but I'm not sure if there's a trial in that like there was in Miracle Creek. So then I pulled up like a list on Goodreads and just was looking for books that had a trial, tournament, whatever. And I could have done The Serpent of the Wings of Night, but instead I decided to do Throne of Glass. So I'm finally doing it. I have the whole series on my Kindle, bought this, and then they re-released all the books with better covers. So I think like I'm gonna read this, but I have a feeling I'm gonna now buy, I think you can only buy the new editions, which I'm fine with. So the rest of my series will be bought because I'm that type of a person and I love Sarah J. Maas. So I will probably need to collect all of these. Anyways, here we go.
Good job, Kelsey. Love you, babe. Finish it.
Hi, friends. I'm 4 days post-half marathon. I'm just really recovering and kind of being worthless this week. I've been so tired and I don't know, well, I do know what it is. I have a child with croup right now, or he had croup, and he's like a very high-risk respiratory illness child. He has asthma and just a bunch of stuff. So he got that, and then I was recovering from my race, so my body was already pretty beaten down. And of course now I have a sore throat, and for croup it becomes like a cold for most adults. So mine has stayed in my throat. It hasn't like become like a full cold, which is good, but because of that I've been super tired. I've been going to bed really early, which is good. Sleep is good. I just haven't been reading as much. So this book took me a lot longer to read than I was expecting. This is the first book in the Throne of Glass series, and I'm going to be reading it. There's like a proposed order where you read I think this and Crown of Midnight first, and then you go to Assassin's Blade, and then you read through and you dual read some of the books later on. That's the plan I'm going to follow. I have a good friend who's also reading along with me. I think I'm going to read the next book in November, and we'll just see. I'm contemplating trying to push the whole series, like get through it all before Crescent City #3 happens. I also wouldn't mind rereading those books. So one of my other friends, Marty, is contemplating doing like a week where you read, like every week you're reading a Sarah J. Maas book, and I might participate, which then will blow up all my reading plans. But all that being said, for Spookopoly, this was my role for the game. I really, really liked it. There's a lot of things where I'm like, I do need to reread other books by her because I feel like there's Easter eggs in here that I'm not catching up because it's been so long. I could be making that up, but I am just how she writes, there could be Easter eggs, okay? And I'm believing it. Right now, I think I am team Kale. I think that's how you say it, Kale. Like Kale, but Kale. Over Dorian. It's giving me Tamlin Reese vibes. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm just really intrigued to see where this goes. There's 8 books in the series. Reads very YA, pretty predictable plots, tropes, but like it's super fun. It's like candy. Yeah. All right, so I finished this. I gave it 4 stars. All right, the next roll is a 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh. Most recent purchase. Okay, this is actually really awesome. All right, so bear with the really bright light right now. It's bad, but the prompt I rolled was the most recent purchase you made. So I'm doing it based on the subscription box that I do with Dog-Eared Books and the book that came last month. The most recent purchase I literally made was a book for a Bible study for church, and that's not what I'm looking for here. So the book I'm going to read is Happiness Falls by Angie Kim. I really want to read this one. I've heard great things. I know my friend Jordan loved it, and I've heard I truly have not heard bad things about this book yet. So I'm really excited to get to this. It's a signed copy by Angie Kim, and it's kind of like a mystery. I think there might be a trial in it. So I'm very excited that this was picked. I'll get to reading and I'll let you know my thoughts. Okay, hi friends. So if you can hear some ASMR, it's because it's fall, the wind is going, and the window is open behind me. So I started Happiness Falls. This is the book that was my most recent purchase. And it's about a family. It's a family saga. And these twins are in college, and it's from the twin daughter Mia's perspective. So one day her brother comes running home, and her brother has autism and he has mosaic Angelman syndrome, which means he can't really communicate. He doesn't have words. He comes running home, and then their dad doesn't return. Their dad and the son had gone to the park to play one day or hike, whatever. And right now they're treating it as a missing persons case, but investigating the family for murder. And the son with autism and Angelman syndrome is a primary suspect. However, he can't communicate. The justice system isn't very kind to him in this book. And so I'm only probably a third in, but I'm really enjoying Angie Kim. I have not read Miracle Creek or Miracle Falls? I want to. Miracle Creek. This is Happiness Falls. I want to read it now because she writes really smart. She writes about science really, really well and in a way that's easily digestible by a layperson who doesn't really excel in science. And it's also a really great look at family and what you do in a time of crisis and how you process things. And she constantly is like flipping what's happening, and it's just a wild ride so far. So I'm really enjoying this so far. I probably won't finish it in time for this video. So I'm going to wrap up Spookopoly weeks 1 and 2 on this note with a third of this read, and you will see me wrap up the rest of this book in the next video. I'm kind of reading the Spookopoly books, like I'm rolling ahead a few, so I'm kind of reading a few at the time, and you'll kind of see like bits and pieces of that as I'm reading. So like I'm starting a couple books that are in next week's video. or the next Spookopoly video already. So it's a little disjointed in how I'm filming this, but you guys will see the wrap up in the next video that I post for Spookopoly. All in all, really enjoying it so far. So until the next Spookopoly video, you guys, bye.